In today's video you will learn the main meaning of Matthew 5 verse 3 to 12, how Jesus talked about happiness through this verse. May God bless you. Matthew 5 verse 3 to 12. Known as the Beatitudes, encompasses Jesus' teachings on the qualities and attitudes that lead to true blessedness or happiness. Here's an elaboration using more sophisticated vocabulary. In the Beatitudes, Jesus delineates a series of virtues emblematic of divine favor, elucidating the spiritual dispositions that engender profound felicity and spiritual elevation. Each beatitude serves as a prism, refracting the divine light of blessedness onto those receptive to its radiance. 1. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Jesus extols the virtue of spiritual poverty, wherein individuals recognize their profound neediness before God, relinquishing all pretensions of self-sufficiency and prideful independence, thus becoming heirs to the celestial kingdom's boundless riches. 2. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Mourning, not merely as the expression of grief over temporal loss, but as the profound lamentation for the brokenness of the human condition and the world's estrangement from divine perfection, evokes divine solace and consolation, heralding the advent of divine restoration and renewal. 3. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. The meek, characterized by humility and gentleness, eschewing the clamor of worldly ambition and the pursuit of self-aggrandizement, are destined to inherit the fullness of God's promises, reigning as stewards of divine providence over the earthly realm. 4. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. The fervent pursuit of righteousness, an insatiable longing for moral rectitude and ethical integrity, propels individuals towards spiritual fulfillment and existential satisfaction, culminating in the divine bestowal of spiritual nourishment and satiety. 5. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. The exercise of mercy, characterized by compassion, forgiveness, and benevolence towards others, invokes divine reciprocity, as the merciful become recipients of divine clemency and compassion, experiencing the liberating grace of divine forgiveness. 6. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. The purity of heart, an unblemished integrity of motives and intentions, unveils the transcendent vision of divine reality, granting communion with the ineffable essence of the divine and the beatific vision of divine glory. 7. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. The pursuit of peace, as active agents of reconciliation and harmony amidst discord and strife, reflects the divine nature, establishing individuals as progeny of the divine, bearing the imprimatur of divine filiation and sonship. 8. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Enduring persecution and suffering for the sake of righteousness and fidelity to divine precepts confers the highest beatitude, as such individuals partake in the fellowship of Christ's sufferings, inheriting the eschatological consummation of the celestial kingdom. In summary, the Beatitudes encapsulate a radical paradigm shift, challenging conventional notions of happiness and blessedness, and unveiling the sublime path to spiritual fulfillment and divine communion. 9. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Matthew 5 verse 11 to 12. Jesus extends the blessing to those who face persecution and defamation for their devotion to him. Such adversities, endured for the sake of Christ, not only testify to one's fidelity to divine truth but also evoke divine commendation and reward. By rejoicing in tribulations, believers align themselves with the noble lineage of prophets who bore witness to divine truth amidst unfriendliness and opposition. The Beatitudes, in their entirety, constitute a radical reconfiguration of conventional notions of happiness and prosperity. They advocate for a pattern shift from a worldly perspective focused on material gain, power, and self-promotion to a spiritual outlook centered on humility, compassion, righteousness, and fidelity to divine principles. In this divine economy of blessedness, the excluded, the meek, the merciful, and the persecuted find their true worth and significance, as they are welcomed into the kingdom of heaven and become heirs to divine promises. Moreover, the Beatitudes serve as a blueprint for Christian discipleship, explaining the transformative virtues and attitudes that believers are called to represent in their journey of spiritual growth and conformity to the image of Christ. They challenge believers to embrace going against the norm characterized by self-denial, sacrificial love, and radical obedience to Christ's teachings, even in the face of opposition and persecution. Ultimately, the Beatitudes offer a vision of human flourishing grounded in communion with God and conformity to His will. They beckon believers to pursue a happiness that goes beyond temporary joy and temporal changes, reaching instead the enduring blessedness of divine favor and fellowship. In embracing the contradiction of blessedness through humility, suffering, and self-sacrificial love, believers discover the profound truth that true happiness is found in surrendering to the divine will and participating in the redemptive purposes of God's kingdom.